Hello my dear sewing friends, it's Alisa here with Thoughtful Creativity, and today's project is super easy. It also makes a beautiful and useful gift, and today I'm making this gift for a cat lover friend. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now for this project you will need just minimal supplies, and by the way you can also complete it by hand as well, so you don't even have to have a sewing machine. So first let's start with fabric. I would go for a cotton, preferably on the heavier side, so that way your coasters are nice and sturdy. And you will also need some batting, and you can go with just fabric without any batting, but I find that 2 layers of fabric are not enough to catch any liquids, and they're actually not fulfilling the duty of a coaster. But if you put some batting in the middle, it really is a nice sturdy coaster that soaks up liquids if they are spilled on a surface. I will start by tracing the template onto the surface of my fabric. Now my fabric is also folded in half, and I will be making 4 coasters. Therefore, I will need to trace 8 pieces of this template. And speaking of the template, it is available for free for the members of this channel, which is a paid function. And if you're not a member of this channel, no worries at all. It's super easy for you to make one for yourself, and it doesn't have to be a cat. You can make anything else. Just be creative and have fun with it. You will also repeat the same steps for the batting, but instead of cutting 8, you will cut 4, since we will only need 1 piece of batting per coaster. Once that is done, let's make our coaster sandwiches. The construction of the coaster sandwich, so to speak, is really easy. You take 2 fabric pieces and you place them right sides together facing. Then you take 1 piece of batting and you place it on top on one of the pieces of the fabric. Then you take pin needles and you pin it in place so that way it doesn't move as you sew. And on the very bottom of the cat face or any other shape that you're going to be using, leave about 2-inch wide opening so that way you'll be able to turn your coaster right side out. Alright, once all of that is done, it is time for us to move on to the sewing machine. Now we will stitch our coasters with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, which is actually really easy to do if you follow this little trick. Now here you see my presser foot, and do you see the edge of the presser foot? Now if you align this little itty bitty hook, so to speak, with the edge of your fabric, and you keep it that way at all times, you will automatically get 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now that all of your coasters are stitched up, it will be time for us to turn them right side out. However, before we do that, let's tidy up the edges, let's cut off anything that's a little bit excess, and also let's snip the corners of the ears so that way when we turn them right sides out, they turn out really nice and neat. And once that is done, then we'll be turning them right side out, and then once the coasters are turned, you will also give them a really good press with your iron to really give them that crisp look. As one of the final steps, you actually have 2 options here. Option number 1 is to do a top stitching, which will also close up the hole on the bottom that we used to turn the coaster right side out. And option number 2 is to take a needle and thread and do that by hand. Now I've done it both ways, and I should say that top stitching with curves like that is a little bit challenging. So on the second round, I will go with just a needle and thread, and I will do that by hand. And that's how the bottom of the coaster looks when it's all done. Now, give it another really good press before we wrap them up. And to wrap them, I'm going to go back to my template. I'm going to cut out the gift tag, and then I'm going to punch 2 holes on the sides of the gift tag. And I actually don't have long enough ribbon, so I'm just going to use a longer piece of this beautiful velvet yarn that I have. I'm going to thread it through, going to place my coasters on top of it, tie a beautiful little bow, and that's it. Our gift is ready to go. Well, dear sewing friends, I hope that you enjoyed this really quick and easy tutorial. Use your creativity, make some beautiful coasters, and who knows, maybe you also have a cat loving friend that would absolutely love to receive a cat themed present. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.